How is everyone doing on their cosmic time out from Saturn? um, Saturn is definitely giving us one of these timeout moments and giving us a chance to kind of rethink and look at what we're doing. So today, I wanted to do the astrology and the numerology for March 25th, 2020. If you add up all of those numbers, you get a 14. If you add the 1 and the 4 together, you actually get a 5. The number 5 is the number of the physical body and health and movement and nature and everything that is in the physical world. So, where nature is allowed to just be, then there is life. When humanity steps back from the huge extortion of resources from Mother Earth, even for a moment, it allows her to regenerate and catch up. Such is this moment in time. We are in a health crisis number, the number 5. And the opportunity is ours to notice that we can do with much less than we realized. If everyone took that to heart and saw the contribution of how our choices help or harm our world, then this world could recover and thrive. The astrology for today: the moon is in Aries, square Jupiter in Capricorn. This brings up conflicts between the law, the people, and those in authority that are going to, and those things are going to get more and more interesting as this continues on. Disagreements are going to escalate, along with more extravagance, opinions, and waste. Such choices will continue to degrade the financial stability of our country. Unfortunately, these choices will, destroy the American way of life. Perhaps that is what it will take for some of us to wake up. The moon square Pluto will allow a certain amount of self-deception to continue, much to our global detriment. I see even now people still outside, not protecting themselves, not thinking of others, coughing, not being aware that their behavior and their choices actually can negatively influence other people. Remember that fear allows the imbalances to continue with hypersensitivity and nervousness. Think positive, but plan for the negative. The Sun and Chiron align in Aries in the morning and pull up opportunities to seek purpose and help out in the world. The life lessons right now touch the insecurity that is unhealed within and undermine our faith and belief in authorities. Perhaps the purpose of this moment is to recognize that you have no choice in life but to face your own fears. You do that by being open and honest with yourself and others. A healthy dose of reality is coming, and it is going to feel like drinking from a fire hose if you have not been practicing expansion for a very, very long time. So these are really intense moments, and I keep warning everybody that these are going to continue to intensify. So these are not going to slow down. These are going to continue to intensify, and so everybody needs to protect themselves to the very, very best of their ability because it is so intense. The quote for today, I actually did a poem, sort of, and this is the poem for the day. Look in the mirror, and what do you see? The look of concern from a life of unfamiliarity. The smile has gone from your lips, but where did it go? It was left behind in that familiar place you used to know. Do you miss that smile that laughed and cared? Do you like this face that feels so scared? Perhaps it is time to trust and relax. Let go of that face that formed a mask. There is love right here, or did you not see? The caring glance of others just trying to be. Take a breath and slowly let it out. Release the fear and with it the doubt. There will come a time when you will need real control. The type that can stand up to the bitter and the cold. Within this world are moments that test. That is a place where you can discover your best. Okay, so my blog for the day. One of the things that I've been noticing that's been actually going on for over a year now is how many people are dying and how many people are leaving the planet. I started to wonder if they knew something that I didn't know, but I kind of did predict a lot of this stuff. So I kind of did know, but I was like, well, I don't want to leave the planet yet. But I think that if you've not been able to handle the acceleration of consciousness and you've not been able to open up to the next level, there might be some part of you just says, hey, I think I'll check out and come back in. I also just know that, some people like my mother, who is alive and kicking and very well, she just says that I never thought I'd live to see the day that America would be looking like this. And hear that from a lot of older people. And so I think sometimes that they might be leaving because this was not their America. This was not their world. This is not what they fought and died for. This is not what they struggled for in their life and put faith and belief so much in. So this is an unfamiliar world to them. And, in all honesty, it's an unfamiliar world to most of us. But I think when you're older, you're like, hey, I've had the best of America and the best of my life, and I think I should quit while I'm on top. And so maybe some people are also thinking that they're quitting on top. So I wanted to discuss the whole dynamic of death and actually the process of death and the circumstances around death, because that seems to be the subject. I mean, we're dealing with the coronavirus. Yes, people are going to die. Yes, people are going to get sick. Yes, it's going to bring up a lot of things for people. And so, because of these present circumstances, I wanted to just look at it. I have many clients that have worked in hospice, and they told me a really valuable thing many years ago, that when someone is dying, they do not have enough life force energy to do appropriate social protocols anymore. They say and do things that are really off. They react and respond in unfamiliar patterns. They are compelled to tell you what they have always really thought about you, but then held in. When you are dying, your aura becomes a sieve, so like a colander. You start leaking energy, and that is one of the contributing factors to dying. That is why healers, herbs, medications, etc. are so important, because you need energy. You need things to shore up the aura so that it is not leaking. Often you need more energy to heal than you have within your own body. So when someone puts energy in, like a healer, a doctor, medications, then you will have the energy to heal, because healing always comes from within, but sometimes you need an external force to come in and block yourself from allowing yourself to leak life force energy out. That desire to live and fight for life comes from deep in the soul. And while there are circumstances such as this one that may not allow us to have choice, the truth is that we need all the healers at this time, and we must respect their needs and wishes, because they are on the front lines of this virus. Doctors are sleeping in tents in their own garages to not infect their own families. If they feel that serious about it, then we should take it very seriously also. And I really don't believe Americans are. And I see it all over the place. And it's really kind of alarming to me. And I get to say that because my sister's a doctor. And, we're worried for her, because all the doctors are being called up and called in. So, but if death is the inevitable process, then it is the unhealed aspects of this life that surface and become clearly in the forefront. Both sides within a family, those dying and those witnessing the dying, can make decisions and choices that are based on past fears, incompletions, resentments, karmic incompletions, attachments, and things that they believe that they are entitled to. And this creates a giant karmic mess that can tear families apart. My personal focus in this life is to not leave anything karmically left undone to the very best of my ability. Many times you actually cannot complete with the person involved, so you have to go on your own inner journey to find the completion without the other person, without their approval, and without getting what you want. And I've seen this in my own family when when my father was dying. It really stirred up a lot of dynamics that were within our family that just hadn't been spoken about. And my father definitely was saying probably what he had always felt, but he had never said. And it actually caused hurt. It actually caused hurt in people. And some of those, have had trouble dealing with that, because then the person dies and you don't actually get to have a conversation. So these conversations that happen when somebody is dying, and what it brings up is a lot of old stuff and a lot of fear and a lot of attachment. And karma is always about attachment. And when you believe that you are owed something by the universe, such beliefs usually come back to bite you in the ass. I've watched those, who someone dies and they take everything they wanted, say, from their grandmother's house, only to watch them as their ex suddenly takes everything from them in a divorce. That's the nature of karma. So when you take from a place of fear, there are consequences to those actions, and they will catch up with you, usually in this lifetime, but if not, in another. I have watched so many families, including my own, in death processes, and it's amazing how unresolved issues come up in a huge wave of chaos. It's almost as if the soul needs resolution in order to move on. And so they feel like they have to say these things. They have to get this off their chest in order to lighten them up so that they can move on. And sometimes there are choices and decisions that are made in reaction rather than in conscious clarity. I have seen money issues tear families apart. And what I know is that in the long run, family is all we have in times of crisis. And we are in a time of crisis, and it is going to be going on for years astrologically. And we are in, and I'm not talking just about the coronavirus pandemic. I mean, we are in an astrological major shift in consciousness and structure around what is really needed and how distorted capitalism has really become. And governments are going to change, financial institutions are going to change, jobs are going to change, the priorities that are going to really change in the world over the next few years. And it's a massive shift. And so we all have to kind of be ready for it. And in times like this is when you need everyone, you need family, you need to learn that everyone is human. Everyone makes mistakes and will do and say things that cause problems for others. Everyone is working on his or her own karmic journey, and those journeys are going to bump into our own agendas and beliefs. It takes huge, great, powerful conscious control and skill to navigate these global times. And then when you add in the threat of death, whew, many things can come up. You do not want to be the one that did not say, I love you at the end of someone's life. You do not want to be the one that takes actions and causes suffering, obvious suffering for another, especially if you know your action is going to do just that. Whatever you do, whenever you do something from a, pardon the phrase, fuck you place, the outcome you intended to go for will not materialize. And even if it materializes, it won't be satisfying. And even if it's satisfying, you will have a huge karmic loss in another area. No matter what, be kind. No matter what, do what is right. No matter what, recognize that another is suffering. No matter what, do not add to your personal karmic suffering in this life. Okay. So, you guys take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you later.